welcome back to Women of the South Bay. We now get a chance to learn about my co-host, Cathy Alessandra. So, Cathy, tell us what happened that created the Yes I Can coach?
Okay. So I am known as the Yes I Can coach, and there was a very defining moment about 8 years ago or so, and literally it was on a treadmill at a gym here in Torrance. I've been going through a lot of stuff. There was a pending divorce. I had a son who was struggling with some drug use, and my health had taken a big turn, and so I needed to step up and take care of me for a change. I'm sure many women can relate to that. The family, the business, we give to everybody else, right? And we forget about us.
Yep.
And I was literally on a treadmill at a gym that no longer exists, but there was a big bank of mirrors in front of me, and it was the Sunday before Thanksgiving. So it was not very crowded on that afternoon. Nobody was there. Nobody was there, actually, except for me. And this other woman walked in, and she had on a black T-shirt with bling, sparkly writing, and I'm all about the sparkle, which
obviously caught your attention.
Obviously caught my attention. I'm not wearing enough sparkle today, but it said, "One woman can." And in that moment, knowing that I needed to really make some big shifts in my life, I thought, heck yeah, one woman can, I can. Yes, I can, was born on that treadmill. So, it's looking at those challenges that all of us face, all the things that we go through, whether it's the tiny little annoyances during the day, or it's the big, humongous health challenges, or divorce, or whatever it might be. And, just being able to use that inner voice saying, I can do this. I really can. I can get through this.
And so how do you help other people to get that, yes, I can, I can do this,
right,
for themselves?
Right. It's a process. And it's actually a process that I created after I had been through all I went through. It's actually called the Yes Method, where we, it's helping people see where some of the areas that they really are struggling in their lives. It may be, it's something that you don't even really realize that you could shift or change easily. When the pain is great enough, that's when we're usually willing to make some sort of change. And so helping women walk through that, helping women discover that, and then giving them the tools necessary to be able to kind of flip that switch. And it may be one tiny baby step at a time.
Yep.
Usually is. But then that momentum gets going and see the change.
Yeah. And when you can make that one shift, sometimes that doesn't stick unless you've got somebody kind of guiding you along that process.
Right.
So, Cathy, tell us, what inspires you?
What inspires me? Well, I have to say it's the women that I work with and the women that I know here in the South Bay. You inspire me. Seriously. We have some amazing, I have amazing clients, and some of the things that they're doing and going through and working through. Watching that and seeing them come on the other side. I had an event this past weekend, and just watching the light bulb come on, it's humbling to see that, right? And
that you get to be a part of that.
That I get to be part of that. That space has been created, and that absolutely inspires me. And then also, the whole purpose of this show, right, is really bringing on inspiring women in the South Bay. And when you and I started looking at that list and who to interview, and there are so many who have done so many wonderful, amazing things that may be forgotten about or may just not be known.
Yeah.
And those stories inspire me to keep plugging along and saying, yes, I can, to the things that come up to me.
There are so many women. There are so many women who have created so much here in the South Bay.
Absolutely.
So, and you're one of them. And so that is something that I think takes us into this whole idea of what those places that you have participated in. I know that you were part of Power of Pink for a long time. What are some of the things that you've done here in the South Bay from a leadership perspective that you want to continue?
Well, I think as we get older and as our things change, right, and passions change, there's a number of things. Yes, I was very involved with the Power of Pink and the founding of that, which is part of Providence Little Company of Mary, and was on their board for a number of years. But it's also, local things like my church or my community, or even, in getting involved in some of the teen homeless shelter that was in Los Angeles, not necessarily the South Bay. But, I think it's finding that passion that you have in that area that you want to serve, and really going after, like you, with the South Bay Women's Conference, right, and the scholarships that they give. Finding that and sticking with it and giving back. I mean, you gain so much by what you give. Being in service to others.
You really do. And I know that even when you were doing a lot of the work with the homeless shelters, you were actually cooking and taking things out to them.
I was.
So, in that, because I know that brings you some warmth for, what is it that brings you joy? What is that thing that brings you joy?
When I look at joy per se, I think it's my family. I go back to my family. I have 3 kids, and it's definitely, my kids bring me tremendous joy. But it's also being present in the littlest things. The sunsets that we have here.
Yes.
Right? I mean, those days when
Yes.
the sky turns like that orange, and then the candy, what's that candy stuff, right? The pinks and yellows, and I mean if you stop long enough to really embody that can bring you joy, and it does for me, certainly. So it's just the little things, all the little things.
Yeah, the beauty of what happens here in the South Bay, I think a lot of times when we don't even just make it down to the beach or take a moment to go outside and take a look at what's going on, whether it be a sunrise or a sunset, right? Finding those moments of joy and clarity. So what is that legacy that you want to leave, that you have a vision of leaving behind here in the South Bay?
Well, that's a big question, and I humbly would answer that. I hope that with the work that I do with the women that I work with in the Yes I Can arena, that it will give them some sense of purpose or change or transformation, and that is my legacy to leave, in the sense that they've taken whatever it is that they're doing or want to do, or the dream that they're following, and are able to reach that goal and to find that. And that would be what I would want to leave behind.
I love that. Giving them purpose gives you purpose.
Absolutely.
I love that. So let's tell everybody how they can find you.
Absolutely. You can go to CathyAlessandra.com and you'll find me there, or Yes I Can Living, and I am on like every social media channel there is. So you can always find me there, and would love to connect with anybody here in the South Bay.
So fun. It's
so fun.
It's interesting because we've known each other for so long, but when you actually sit down and ask some of these questions and you get to hear some of those answers, you forget that sometimes we live through some of those things together.
Yes, we've lived through a lot of those things together.
And, this is another thing when I think about the women of the South Bay. There are so many connections and so many things that have come from this area, that there's just a very different sense of not just community, but family.
Absolutely.
And that is what we want to spotlight, and we want to continue to spotlight. So if you know a woman that is here in the South Bay that embodies those things and has a story to share, we want to be able to spotlight them and bring them out to everybody who's watching us. So please make sure that you reach out to us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.